Can you hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you, Liz.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Killing my audio and video till we start.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our April general meeting. I don't think we have quorum quite yet. So we have our agenda online, and if you're online and if you're on Zoom, it'll also be within the Zoom if you click the resources tab. But if you're in the room, we may have a few copies in the hallway. So generally we vote to adopt tonight's agenda and our minutes, but we're gonna skip that and not formally call the meeting to order yet. And then when the secretary alerts us, then we'll have all the formalities done. But I'll follow along for folks who might be in Zoom and prefer to follow the meeting along in another language. The instructions are there. If we could hit the next slide. And just for some folks, if it's your first meeting or it's been a while, we do have our norms. I know for some people you hear it every single month. But our meetings work a little differently from maybe some general community meetings. We follow Robert's Rules of Order. And this is really the meeting where we just come and vote. And we hear from our electeds and from the public. And most of the bulk of what folks report on, we discuss during our committee meetings. So because of that, this meeting tonight, only board members are able to speak and ask questions unless you're signed up for the public session. So even if you have a question, a comment, concern, announcement, you want to make sure that if you're in person, you sign up for the public session out in the hallway, or if you're on Zoom, in the chat, we have our first vice chair who is taking note, and the signups close at 7:15. So make sure you, even if you're not sure, just sign up and you can always pass. We keep it nice and tight in this meeting. So we want to make sure everybody is timed. We have Daryl, if you could put your hand up. Daryl times everybody 2 minutes. And that includes all board members and folks from the public. If you're on the Zoom, again, please use the chat just to alert us for any technical questions, or if you can't hear us in the space, it's really key that you alert us through the chat. But please refrain from sharing, extensive comments or links that aren't necessarily shared verbally on the record. We just want to make sure we're abiding by the rules for our meetings. And I think that covers it. Next one. And we have the MBPO, or the Manhattan Borough President's Code of Conduct. You can go online. We're all held to that. So we cover public session. All right, we're gonna skip this part too. Great. All right, we're gonna go to our chair report. Actually, let me introduce everybody. So my name is Catherine Diaz. I'm the chair for CB12, and yeah, we can use the mics.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anthony Viola. I am the first vice chairperson of Community Board 12.
Hello, I'm Tanisha Grant, and I am the second vice chair of Community Board 12.
Alexis Marnell, Secretary of Community Board 12.
Daryl Cochran, Assistant Secretary.
And Leo stepped out, but Leo is our treasurer. So folks will be working with me to make sure we get all the pieces. Alexis may be asking you because we do take minutes and we also have the recording. So just make sure that if you do speak tonight, that your name and any information is really clear. And if anything, she may ask you to repeat something. We can hit the next slide. Thank you. So for folks who, of course, know and have been part of this board for a long time, on December 20th, I remember that was my birthday. On December 20th, we lost a very long time board member, Jay Mazer. And so I know many members, and I'm not seeing everybody on the screen right now, but a lot of members did attend his memorial in January, and have been really key in terms of speaking with a lot of his friends and chosen family in this case. And so we were, and I don't know where Liz is at, if Liz has her hand up. But in the room, I want to just thank Liz and Jay's network for sharing some mementos. So if you didn't get a chance to check them out, check them out. We even got his report card, y'all. So you can see it. And also the borough president at the memorial issued a proclamation in his name. It's a proclamation along with some of the mementos that we're going to carve out space in the CB12 office to hold, and alongside our future plaque to come honoring Betty Lehman. And I just think that there have been so many instrumental folks. You know, we even have streets named after former board members. And so the opportunity to be able to just have kind of a memoriam space in our board office and to remember those who walked before us, a lot of folks who fought for our community and cared for our community in many ways, is such a beautiful thing. So thank you, Liz, for bringing that and for alerting us around the proclamation. All right, next slide.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, I can't see our folks on Zoom. So just real quick for our members, yesterday, no, not yesterday, on Friday, we sent out our board member newsletter. So our annual survey is live. It'll be open until June 30th. So for folks who may be their first time, our board member survey is really just to get a sense of your experience. What's your experience been like on your committees, at the general meetings? What's your thoughts about community boards? What more would you like to see done? What's something that maybe it's like you don't want to see more of that? So all of that feedback is essential for us at the executive committee to continue to improve. It can also be done anonymously. I do ask that if you do volunteer to take on projects, if you can just write your name on it or just put your name in the final open-ended question so that we can get back to you about some of the projects. And one of that, which we will be following up on, is around tabling. So now that the spring and the summer are here, I know that the Cannabis Task Force was looking forward to tabling this past weekend. I know with the concerns of the Aging Committee, we have a health fair that we're going to co-sponsor and attend. So there's a lot of events now where we as board members can be out in the community, not just promoting the board, but also being able to get a sense of different issues that are taking place. So if you do want to participate in more of that, make a note of that in the survey, and we'll be able to get in touch around just coordinating kind of like CB12 ambassadors, if you will. Last two things is our Uptown tours are back. So this Friday, we are going to the Academy of Arts and Letters, which I'm super excited about. And so there's still spots available. It's just a 1-hour tour. So if you're free, definitely sign up. And our last update, I'm going to pass the mic, or if you want to come up, Alexis, is for secretary, however you want.
Hello? Oh, it is. Just a note. So next week, or at the middle of next week, in early May, people who have had excessive latenesses or extreme lateness or excessive absences on any of their committees will be receiving a letter with a notice, and you have the opportunity to say if you can continue, if you can make meetings and be on time, or you can actually have the right to say, I don't think this is for me. I don't think I have the time like I thought I did. Because what's going to happen is if, when we do the next round, which will be, I'll be looking at the April, May, and June attendances, and people will be getting notices in July. If we continue to see those absences, it might, somebody might be asked to leave or to reconsider your position on the board. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Alexis. And again, you can always reach out. All right. Next up, we're gonna bring up our district manager, Ebenezer Smith. And for folks who don't know, we're all volunteers on community boards, and who hold down community boards are the staff. And so that includes district manager and our community coordinators and associates that are in the hallway. But come on.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, for this opportunity. Always is a pleasure being here and report as your district manager. Last Saturday morning, I read a grief-stricken news on Facebook. Peter Walsh has passed away. Peter Walsh was one of the 3 owners of Coogan's Restaurant, the icon restaurant of Washington Heights. I remember I met Peter Walsh after the 9/11 events, while I was working for New York City DOT Revocable Consent Unit. Peter visited my office because he was seeking for a permit, a city permit, to install a street clock in front of Coogan's Restaurant. And the structure of street clock, it was not listed on the structure that you can get a revocable consent for. And I told him no. But he told me right away, how come no? Because I see street clocks on other places in the city of New York, and Washington Heights deserve one. And he showed me, and I remind myself, that in another location in the city of New York, there was a street clocks. And I told him, yes, you're right about it. So let me see what I can do for you. Let me speak with my superior here, and let's see what happened. And is, at that time, did you get, community approved, et cetera, et cetera. So I asked him, what is your telephone number so I can get back to you? And he looked at me and he said, 1234. And I look at him, what are you talking about? Yes, it's easy, it's 1234. And then he said, my telephone number is 212-928-1234. Yes, was 1234. I called him later, to follow up, and he said, no, I cannot do it because the community say no. And he was talking about the community board. And said, I don't want to go against the community say no, I will respect my community. Then in 2007, when I came to work, Community Board 12, I met Peter Walsh again. And I remind him this occasion that we met at the DOT Revocable Consent Unit, and he laughed and we laughed, and then we started a good relationship. And he always was very helpful to me and the community board operation. Every time I need food for one of the meetings, I need to call him. Money, no money, don't worry, Ebenezer, I give you the food and you pay me when you got the funds. Always helpful. And I remember his restaurant was the one that catering our Christmas parties that we have for the district service cabinet meeting. It was time before the COVID-19 situation. After COVID, we never had a Christmas party at the district service cabinet meeting, unfortunately, and the Coogan restaurant left. The celebration of Peter's life will take place on Saturday, May 3rd, at the Armory Track and Field Center, located at 216 Fort Washington Avenue between 166th Street and 169th Street, and the program will start at 2 p.m. The Department of Park and Recreation informed us during the District Service Cabinet meeting last week that there have been increase of illegal dumping at the east dead end of West 206th and West 205th Streets. We are working with sanitation police to see if we can control that area for the illegal dumping. And the representative from Parks Department said that the illegal dumpings there have been outrageous, like I never seen before. The New York City Police Department report to us that 2 trucks were removed from St. Nicholas Avenue as a result of the walkthrough that we had there on March 25th, a month from today behind. And 1 or 2 more trucks need to be removed, and they're working on the removal. And then during the district service cabinet meeting, we had a complaint, an issue between the MT8 and On Point NYC. The issue is that the MTA players do not allow On Point's New York staff to enter the track to remove the needles and syringes and the drugs paraphernalia there. And that been happen for a while. And On Point NYC report that to us. I contact the MTA and they say to me very quickly in a quick answer that this is a union issue. Nevertheless, we're going to have a meeting on Monday, May 5th via Zoom with all the parties to see if we can address this matter and the On Point NYC can come back to the tracks and the train station in our district to remove the needles, syringes, and drug paraphernalia from the stations. May 7, 2025 is around the corner, and you know, on this day going forward, we will have to have a real ID to do domestic air travel and domestic flight. So make sure that you have your real ID and you go and get it there at the Department of Motor Vehicle. I heard there is a lot of people going in the last week and this week. So make sure that you have your real ID or enhanced ID as soon as possible. And finally, the Fire Department New York is offering cooking fire class for street events, and anyone in coordinating an event interested in this education training from safety fire classes can call Sandra Sanchez at 718-999-0827, 718-999-0827. Thank you very much. This is the end of my report. Is there any question? I don't see any question. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Oh, I don't know. All right, thank you, Ebenezer. We are going to have, we're gonna dive into our elected official report. So we're gonna hear from them or their representatives. Just because of some time constraints, we made 2 quick edits. So we're going to have Evelyn Collado from the Comptroller's office, or Comptroller Brad Lander, followed by Sean Abreo's office, if I'm correct. Yeah, come on down a second.
Right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Evelyn Collado. I'm the Manhattan Borough Director for New York City Comptroller Brad Lander. I have shared our newsletter with, you can hear me? We have shared our newsletter with the board already, but there are a couple of audits that I would like to speak of this evening. The first one is an audit report on the Department of Education and the School Construction Authority asbestos management program. So our audit found that DOE is not in compliance with the Asbestos Response Act and has not been for many years. Since it was enacted 38 years ago, an average of 11% of all schools known to contain asbestos have undergone all the inspections mandated by this act. We have proposed a 9-point recommendation plan for the Adams administration, and the DOE department has agreed to implementing all of them. The next item is our audit of the New York City bus system. We made an assessment of bus performance over 3 key metrics: speed, on-time rate, and reliability. And this audit revealed that there is poor performance system-wide. This is no surprise to New Yorkers. Buses have speeds have not meaningfully improved over the past 10 years and have fallen short of the city's goal to improve citywide by 25%. Also, the buses fail to reach stops at their scheduled time 30% of the time, and the express buses are off schedule 37% of the time. You can find all this information by visiting the control.nyc.gov/report site. And I will leave my card here also. If you want to have a copy, I can gladly email it to you. Thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Liz.
In your assessment of the bus on-time data, do you have any information on buses that are running across town in Midtown in the congestion pricing zone and the extent to which on-time has been affected by congestion pricing?
So this is a citywide audit, so I'll invite you to look it up. I don't have specific data points, but it was conducted based on real-time data provided by the MTA. So if you reach out to me, I can give you a copy of the report.
Cool, thank you.
All right, cool. Paula, you want to take it away? So we have Paula from Councilmember Sean Abreu's office.
Hello, everybody. It's Paula here. Very good to see you. I'm glad that the weather's finally warmer, which is actually perfectly in time for our shredding event that's coming up next week, Monday, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on West 95th Street, 118 West 95th Street. I'll put this in the chat as well, in front of the congregation Ohad Sadiq. So if you want to come shred your papers, I know everybody was asking for it, so this is the moment. It's happening this Monday, but we also have another one scheduled for late in the summer. So if you can't make it Monday, don't worry. There's going to be another day to be able to bring shredding. Also on May 3rd, which is a Saturday, I believe, from 11 a.m. to 2:30, we're having Blessing of the Bikes. So City Council Member Sean Abreu is sponsoring like a helmet giveaway. And so essentially there's helmets for everybody of every size. So when you get there, you can get your head fitted because not everybody's head fits the same. So make sure to show up early, show up with your whole family, everybody get a helmet. But like I said, it is while supplies last. So ideally come early if you want to guarantee that you get a helmet. And that's going to be happening at the Cathedral St. John the Divine on Amsterdam Ave between West 112th Street and West 113th Street. Sorry for the loudness. We also just had a street co-naming this month that turned out over 200 people honoring Thich Nhat Hanh, who was a Buddhist monk that taught in our community. And so the next time maybe you're walking down within our district by Broadway and 109th Street, take a look, take a moment, take a moment to pause. But we do have another street co-naming honoring on June 14th to honor Monty Callan. So if that is someone who you hold dear to the heart, please put that in the books and feel free to reach out to our office and we give you the specific details. Also, in line, I don't know if everybody heard about this, but essentially the mayor's office stopped basically making it mandatory to compost. Right now, it's not being enforced. And so it is we're a little bit frustrated with that. And so we do want to make sure that people do kind of get the right resources they need and are able to get all the education they need, especially about composting. So LASEC is still very much so available to come to your building, to your office building. And they could come and do a little workshop about composting so that all of the residents can understand how it works, what goes in it, why we're doing it. So please reach out to our office. I'm going to put my email in the chat. If you want LASEC, Lower East Side Ecology Center, to come and do a workshop at your building, because we want to make sure everybody fully understands how composting works, so that we get the best results we want to get. Empire bins have started arriving throughout the district. So if you've noticed, maybe you walked past, I think it's on 155th Street. Was one of the first Empire bins that we have, and that is to be able to containerize all school trash. That way kids don't have to hop over piles of trash bags or detour around piles of trash bags, so they're all contained in one place. And lastly, last week we had another wonderful turnout for our district mammogram bus, so for free mammograms, but we do have another one happening in June 17th, so I encourage you all to start calling our office, start setting up your appointments, so we can secure your appointment, because it is call ahead. But I will also be re-saying this in the next one because we do have another month before, I guess. Can
Okay.
I please repeat the details? On Monday, shred event time and location. So the shredding event is this Monday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. all morning on 118 West 95th Street in front of Congregation Ohad Zedek. And I'll make sure to put this in the chat soon.
Okay. Did that answer your question, Liz? Okay, perfect. I don't see any hands in the room, so thank you so much, Paula. And keep enjoying the sun for all of us.
I'm a comedian, so I have a show that I'm going to be on in a few minutes, but I'm going to be inside. But I do appreciate the outdoors.
Okay, thanks. All right, we're gonna just keep going through Zoom if that's okay with folks. And then we're gonna switch over. Oh, who was next? I think it was Fernanda. Yeah. All right, so next up we have Fernanda from the District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Alvin Bragg.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Oh, let me see. I don't know what my thing is. Okay. Can you guys see me too?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Fernanda Lujan. I'm a Community Engagement Coordinator at the Manhattan District Attorney's Washington Heights office. And today I have one event to invite you guys to. I'll make sure to put this flyer in the chat and also send it to the community board. But we are partnering with the Washington Heights and Inwood Coalition Against Interpersonal and Domestic Violence to host a Denim Day community fair next week. It would be on April 30th from 2 to 5 p.m. in Audubon Plaza. This is between 165 and 166. We do encourage people to wear jeans to stand in solidarity, to raise awareness, and also support survivors of sexual assault. We'll have resources, giveaways, and even drumming. So if you guys are interested, I will make sure to add this to the chat and also send it to the community board as soon as possible. But besides that, that is all I have to report. Does anyone have any questions or concerns?
Sorry. I don't see any questions for you. We got some Colombia questions. But Fernanda, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you all so much. Have a nice day. Have a good night. Sorry.
Yes, close the door, please. I don't need a little extra. You know what? We need to call Sean Abreu's office back for containers. And the rats are. All right. Next up, last I think on Zoom is gonna be from Assembly Member Manny de los Santos' office. I'm not sure if it's Diana or.
It'll be both of us. This is Peter Williamson from the Assembly Member's Office as well. Just a couple of updates on the budget priorities. As everyone knows, the state budget is still in process, but I wanted to update everyone on some of the priorities that the member is working on for Assembly District 72. A big issue is language access and literacy. So the member is pushing for an expansion of the Language Access Act, investing 10 million in to build out language services statewide. That's a big priority, as well as 25 million for the Office of Children and Family Services to fund early literacy programs. He's also pushing for educational equity and a fairer foundation aid formula, as we reported previously to the Education Committee and the General Committee as well. So that's a big component where he's pushing strongly to protect the interests of the district. Additionally, he's a social worker at heart, so he is pushing for additional expansion of mental health services and ensuring that those services are accessible in all 180 languages that are spoken here in New York City. So that's a big personal project. He's also backing an increase in the cost of living wages for service providers in these vital industries. And in the area of affordable housing, he's opposing strongly the proposed cuts to Mitchell-Lama and NYCHA funding and pushing back to expand capital funding for Mitchell-Lama buildings in the district facing severe disrepair. And for additional updates, I'll pass it over to Diana Pichardo, our Chief of Staff. So thank you.
Peter, I think you did an excellent job. I just want to include that at this very moment in time, I am the standing legislative director. So if there's any ideas or anything that you would like to talk about that is currently in negotiation or something very important pending that you want to speak about, please send me an email, which I will be including in the chat. And anything community related, whether it's macro and micro, you can still contact Peter, and Christopher will be sharing any flyers that we have with any upcoming events. And thank you all so much for giving us opportunity to report. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much to you both. All right, we're gonna switch on over to in person and just move our spotlight. Yeah, Edgar. So Edgar's gonna come up first from Senator Robert Jackson's office. Why is my mouse not working? Okay, there we go. The floor is yours.
Good evening, CB12. My name is Edgar Tavares from Senator Jackson's office. Of course, we know that the budget is still being decided and debated upon. One of the bills that the senator is pushing is the One Fair Wage Bill, providing a minimum wage for industry workers, making sure that restaurant workers and others are being paid fairly. I'm sorry? Being paid fairly and also being able to afford food while they are busy serving people as well. He's also pushing for the ending of the Qualified Immunity Bill, which is Senate Bill S182A, which relates to providing civil action for deprivation of rights of members of New York. As we have seen, there are many reports of fatal encounters with police over the past few months, and this is not new. So these are things that the senator is prioritizing. As we know that the Rent Guidelines Board will be having meetings beginning this month. We urge people to show up. They have their first meeting Thursday, April 24th. This is for tenants and owner groups to offer testimony. They will have that at 22 Reed Street, New York, and it begins at 9:30 in the morning. And of course, they will have more meetings after that. We have been holding immigration clinics with the Northern Manhattan Coalition for Immigrant Rights. These services that they are helping with have to do with immigration forms, citizen applications, and also travel permission forms and things of that nature. But also in the event that there are separation of families, they also help with the designation of parental relationship, stand by a guardian for a child, and also the power of attorney. So these are things, you can call our office at 212-544-0173. These clinics are by appointment strictly, so that is very important. Also, there will be a free community shredding event Friday, May 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. along with Al Taylor's office. That is Friday, May 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 207th Street and Seaman Avenue. And of course, we also are collaborating with the Met Council on housing at the CUNY building, 5030 Broadway. The next tenants' rights clinic will be May 13th, and that is at 6 p.m. We hope that people make it by 5:30, and that'll be all. All right, thanks.
Next we have Jamila and then our borough president's office, right? No one else. No. Sorry, from Council Member Carmen De La Rosa's office.
Scary that we know where it went. Okay.
Mhm.
The wrap.
I think it went outside.
If it comes back, I'm leaving with it. I'm terribly scared of them. Hi, everyone. I'm Jamila, Director of Community Affairs for Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa's office. Just a few legislative updates. The Committee on Housing and Buildings will be hearing Intro 1207 about operating engineers in relation to allowing for time spent in apprenticeship to count towards supervised practical experience time required for them to get their license. If we want to have more people inspecting buildings, this could be a good way to expedite the pathway into the workforce, since obviously they get time through their apprenticeship. On tomorrow night at 6:30 at One Police Plaza. There's going to be another Alan Feliz support rally. The council member will be attending. She has ignored the last letter that was sent to fire the Lieutenant Jonathan Rivera for the killing of Alan Feliz. April 24th, 11:30 a.m., the Progressive Caucus is hosting a rally in support of protecting students in response to the defunding and silencing and disappearing of students across campuses. The street vendor bills are going to be moving on May 6th, where the council will be holding hearings through the Committee on Consumer and Worker Protection. And there's going to be 3 bills or intros being heard there. In regards to the Rent Guidelines Board, he reminded me, the Northern Manhattan representatives wrote a joint letter to the Rent Guidelines Board asking for them to have a hearing up here in Washington Heights. They decided to respond and say that instead of it's going to be as Washington Heights, it's going to be somewhere in the 96th Street area, which is the middle point for Manhattan. I don't know that date yet because they're just responding to us late last week. So they're still finalizing that, but it'll be part of their many hearings that they're going to be having. In terms of the street co-naming that will be heard today, the council member highly supports the application for William Billy Bang Thomas. He was a father, brother, son, a mentor, and community leader to our community. And it'll be an honor and a pleasure to honor his life and legacy on the West 156th Street and Amsterdam Avenue. Several events coming up this Saturday, April 26th. We're having our Spring Festival. It's our annual Spring Festival at High Bridge Park from 12 to 3. We're having like a resource fair. MTA bus is coming and HPD's mobile van is going to be at our office on Monday from 10 to 4. And then we're having our annual skate night that we do, but that's later in May. 23rd. And then just bittersweet news to share with you all and for the folks on Zoom. I'll be transitioning out of the council. My last day is on Friday. It was a pleasure. Oh, Lord. Yes, it's been a pleasure to be here every month and all the committee hearings. I learned a lot. I might come back and be an actual board member one day when I want to give back my time because I need to get back some time. To just sit at home and do nothing. But yes, I just want to say thank you, and it's been an honor. And your next contact for now is our Chief of Staff, James Burke. That's wrong. Thank you. This is your contact.
Thank you, Jamila. I have to say, and like, let it be on the record, Jamila's been phenomenal in working with the board. With our, obviously, like, community boards have worked very closely with council members particularly, and, you know, Carmen has the majority and Sean has a smaller sliver of our district lines. But really, like, y'all see at the board in terms of our general meeting, but behind the scenes, the work that Jamila has done to make sure that the committees are alerted of anything that might be happening, making sure that briefings happening behind the scenes before they come to committees has been amazing. And I've learned a lot through our working together with you. So thank you so much. So TBD. With that said, on that note, we're gonna bring on down somebody who's not a stranger, Mariel from Borough President Mark Levine's office.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. My name is Mariel de la Cruz. I am here stepping in for Porfirio as the representative for Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine. I just have a few quick announcements and just a reminder, I want clapping after I speak as well, just to kind of keep the energy flowing and moving. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone that attended, that has watched the video from the Manhattan State of the Borough that occurred March 23rd at LaGuardia High School. It was an incredible event. A lot of people from the entire borough came out. We had representatives of all ages, races, all sorts of things in our performances and our speakers, and just all around in a great event. And I put it together, so I'm gonna keep saying it was a great event to convince everyone that it was a great event. Also, the community board members' term limit update. We're happy to share that the Manhattan Borough President's Office has just published the maximum term limit information for all Manhattan community board members. So as you know, term limits began in 2019 for 4 consecutive 2-year terms, apart from the 2020 appointments serving 5 consecutive 2-year terms. If you're unsure of when you are limited, please feel free to check our website at manhattanbp.nyc.gov, pick community boards, and choose your board to view the table. Feel free to also reach out to Eric Cuello, who is our Director of Community Affairs. Thank you again to everyone that reapplied to serve on their community board. We had a tremendous outpouring of interest, nearly 950 total applicants. We're currently going through them and expect to make our announcements in the 1st or 2nd week of May. As you are very familiar, we have been doing a lot of work on sidewalk sheds. So the New York City Council recently passed a package of bills introduced in conjunction with BP Levine that take a strong step forward to both cut down the number of sheds across the city and improve the design of those that we need to keep up. Shift the local law 11 compliance cycle frequency for facade inspections from 5 years to 6 to 12 years. Increase the penalties for sheds that are left up for an extended period of time with no work being done. Permit netting as a less invasive alternative to sidewalk sheds, and a few other things as well. Just wanted to also announce we'll be having an Earth Day March and a street festival on Saturday the 26th. We'll be marching from 99th Street on 3rd Avenue all the way to 106th. And then the street festival then with a bunch of resources targeting the environment. Wanted to also share Woman Rink. So the Manhattan Borough President's Office, in conjunction with Councilmember Shaker, the Chair of Parks Committee, wrote a letter to the Mayor's Office urging that the City of New York reject Trump's bid for the contracts for Woman Rink. Our parks are spaces that are meant to be open and welcoming to all, which we believe contradicts Trump's brand. And also wanted to share on May 8th, we will be, I like the clapping, so you keep doing it whenever you want. Okay, so on May 8th, we'll be having our AAPI event on 60 Center Street. So it's gonna be a diverse group of our Asian community here in Manhattan, their performances. The food is always good at our events. And then there's also gonna be amazing honorees that deserve the light while they're here, and we're here to get to shine the light on them. And then lastly, we'll talk about parks employees. As we move closer to the final budget, my fellow borough presidents and I, BP Levine, wanted to emphasize just how critical our New York parks are. Beyond the physical and mental health that parks provide, they also provide good paying union jobs for so many across the city. So it's for this reason that we penned an op-ed calling on City Hall to restore the funding for 800 parks employees. And that op-ed is also available on our website. So there's quite a bit going on in our office. Again, I am always available, Mariel, Porfirio, and anyone from our office to support Community Board 12. And again, just wanted to say thank you for Jay's collage. It is beautiful. I know that a lot of times when we serve in community, people become our family members, our close friends, even if this is our jobs as well. And he was a person that folks really fought to make sure he was comfortable to the end. I got a lot of calls from Lori in particular, who wanted to make sure that he was doing well and comfortable. So thank you so much for the opportunities you provide for family and friendships to folks in our community. And it's beautiful being here today. Have a good night. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So that's 7:15. All right. Before we transition to public session, we're just gonna do the formalities. So we're gonna call the meeting to order technically at 7:15, but it's 7:27 right now. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda? I heard, is there a second?
I have a correction.
For the
I have a
agenda?
correction to the agenda.
For the agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I have that note. It's actually intentional, I believe, because the withdrawals are not noted on the on the agenda, excuse me. Correct, right? You see that?
Right. But it's just really confusing because when we're looking at the, usually when things are withdrawn, they are noted on the agenda so that the numbering on the agenda matches the numbering of on the minutes and the actual rezos generated by the committee.
I get that, but that's also a change that's being made. But tonight we're going to vote based on what's on the agenda and the numbers on the agenda. So if it's.
That's fine, but then we'll need to make those changes on rezos 10, 11, 12, and 13 need to be changed to be rezos 9, 10, 11, and 12. Because if you look at the rezos that are attached in Airtable, the last 4 rezos are called 10, 11, 12, and 13. But if you look at the agenda, the last 4 rezos are called 9, 10, 11, and 12. I don't really care what we call them, just they should match.
I get that. I'm just
Otherwise,
saying tonight, though, I can't accept that edit because we need to vote based on what's on the agenda because that's what Alexis has for her record. But I'll give the feedback to Paola tomorrow. Okay. Are there any objections, I guess?
yeah.
Okay. So any abstentions on it? Okay, hearing none, agenda passes. For the minutes, I know Tracy had some minor kind of like title and grammatical edits, I believe, for the minutes. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean Tracy, I mean Alexa, excuse me. Okay, so it should say general meeting minutes, obviously not the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's minutes? All right, is there a second? Second from me,
Wait. Did we get the minutes? I'm not seeing them on Airtable.
They're on there. Okay, any objections?
Okay, I'm going to abstain.
Okay, abstained by Liz. Okay, motion passes. All right, back to the show.
Okay, we're going to go into the public session, and tonight we're going to start with the in-person speakers. So our first in-person speaker is Danita Nichols from the New York Public Library, speaking about library programs. And then we're going to queue up the next 2 speakers over on this side of the room. So the second speaker is Emily Santiago, speaking about Fort Washington Collegiate Church, followed by Aviva Unit. I apologize if that is not your last name, who is also speaking about Fort Washington Collegiate Church. If we can have you queue up over here. All right, so Danita, take it away. Each speaker has 2 minutes.
All right, good evening, everybody. Just a couple of quick things. All 3 of the Uptown libraries are soon to be restarting their English conversation classes, both at beginning level and intermediate, at high-end beginning level and intermediate. So please pass the word around. I have some flyers for Inwoods. I forgot to say who I am. I am Danita Nichols from Inwood Library, 4790 Broadway, also representing Fort Washington Library and Washington Heights Library. And it is, in May, Pippi Longstocking's 80th birthday. And Inwood is going to be celebrating this all month long. We're going to be, during the week, having things like decorate your own socks, things like that. So we're going to be doing a lot of Pippi, but the big event is on May 10th. It is a day of reading. There are going to be free Pippi books to give away. There's a bilingual story time in the morning for the little ones and a writing group for older children, for school-age children. And we're hoping we can get a group of lovely high school kids who've written their own children's books coming in to spend some time sharing. If they can't do it that day, they'll do it another day. But we'd love to have them for this one. So we hope that you can pass that word along as well. And thank you. Oh, and I forgot to say, I'm really looking forward to your visiting us at Inwood in May. And I know that that Fort Washington Library will be so happy to take you all on a tour there as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Danita. Next up is Emily Santiago speaking about Fort Washington Collegiate Church.
Hello, good evening. My name is Emily Santiago, and I'm a Washington Heights resident, and I attend Fort Washington Collegiate Church. I'm here today to bring attention to the proposed closure of Fort Washington on June 30th. As a Dominican American who grew up in a conservative religious household, I often struggled to feel accepted or connected to the churches I attended growing up. Fort Washington is the first faith-based community where I've truly felt welcomed, and I know all those I love would be welcomed as well. What drew me to Fort Washington wasn't just its openness and acceptance, but its greater connection and deep ties to the community. Sunday games, artist fairs, toy drives, the public garden, the choir, a space to adopt cats, I'm a self-identified cat lady, and the Fort Fridge, which has served as a vital resource for our neighbors throughout COVID and beyond. The Greater Collegiate Church Board has voted to permanently shutter Fort Washington's campus beginning June 30th. But have not made clear their intentions for the future of this beloved community space. We cannot ignore the broader context of what this closure represents. Washington has been under constant threat from gentrification, where longtime residents are priced out and community spaces are erased for profit-driven development. To close Fort Washington is not just a loss of church, it's a blow to our neighborhood's culture and spiritual fabric. We know that Fort Washington can continue to grow as a center for faith, art, justice, and healing within our community, but that future is only possible if the space is preserved for the community. Our future cannot and should not be left in the hands of others that have no stake in our lives or well-being. I am not alone in this, as we have already received 756 signatures petitioning the Collegiate Church Board to stop the closure of Fort Washington and allow it additional time to secure long-term funding. I ask for your support and advocacy in standing against this closure. Help us ensure that Fort Washington remains open to all now and for another 100 years of generations to come, not just as a church, but as a space of resistance to displacement, a sanctuary for the people, and a place that belongs with the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Before we move on to the next speaker, we're going to queue up the next three. So if I could have yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Daryl. You can also leave them. There's a resource table right outside the door and members can pick them up. Perfect. So the speaker following Aviva is Amalia Sherman. So if we can have you come down here right by this podium. And then Daryl, you can stay seated. And then Golden Thomas. Also, if we could have you queue up. So the next speaker is Aviva Chait speaking about Fort Washington Collegiate Church.
Hi, my name is Aviva. I'm speaking on behalf of preserving the Fort Washington Collegiate Campus on 181st and Fort Washington Avenue. There are many things to discuss on the importance of the campus and its community work, such as the community garden and the many events they hold on the grounds. But I want to speak specifically about the importance of the community fridge that is included on the Fort Washington Collegiate Campus. The Fort Fridge provides a free, anonymous, and accessible way to access food whenever it is needed. Every day, my neighbors line up and wait for food drop-offs at this fridge. Whenever I give a food donation to the community fridge, it is immediately picked up by someone in the community who is in need. The fridge is used at all hours by dozens of people. It is an indispensable part of community care, and without it, my neighbors will stop having access to this food. We must do everything in our power to protect the Fort Washington Collegiate Campus, and most especially the community fridge. We cannot let our neighbors go without it. Thank you.
Thank you, Aviva. Our next speaker is Amalia Sherman speaking about Fort Washington Collegiate Church.
Hi, everyone. Happy Earth Day. My name is Amalia. I live on 183rd Street. And like Emily and Aviva, I want to talk about the Fort Washington Collegiate Campus. And again, there's a myriad of really critical social programs that keep the community together that are hosted on this campus. And I want to specifically talk about the community garden. I just want to invite you to actually close your eyes for a minute, if you're comfortable, and imagine walking up Fort Washington Avenue, past 180, up to 181. There's a lot of concrete. There's a Starbucks. There's a dentist office. There's some buses. And like you look a little northeast, and then your eyes fall upon a rolling green hill. There's a large red maple. Someone's reading a book underneath it. As you go down the hill, you see there's a garden. There's pollinators, other species that are critical for our environment. We have community members growing things in that garden that's going to get put in the fridge. Community members connecting with each other and building the social fabric of what makes a neighborhood a neighborhood, and children running around laughing and playing. As you move, like keep looking, you see there's a blooming cherry blossom tree. There's a beautiful structure that's 100 years old, over 100 years old, that houses community in worship and in connection. And this is all at risk with the Fort Washington Collegiate Campus. So again, I urge everyone to sign the petition and do everything we can to save the Fort Washington Collegiate Campus and the community garden. Thank you.
What can actually be done? Why? I understand they've got like billions of dollars, Collegiate Church.
Oh.
Why aren't they giving it to this branch?
I don't know if I can tell you what I know, but I'm not like authorized to speak on behalf of anything. Okay. They have $80 million. They lost a lot of money in real estate. Basically, there's 4 collegiate church branches in New York. And because of their financial situation, I think consistory is the name of the overall umbrella organization, has decided to stop, I think, like subsidizing the individual campuses, and has given the campuses the responsibility of their own financial sustainability. And so they kind of cut off their source of funding. The other campuses are all downtown. They're like, I think below 70 something street. Yeah. Also, a lot of them have wealthier patrons and are able to get more of their funding from their own communities. And they're doing whatever they need to do to get the funding that they need. And the campus up here has like a less wealthy clientele, more Black and brown population, and people who we need to be like making sure that we're preserving our community. So they so far have not been able to find a partner or come up with the creative solution needed to preserve this campus financially. And the consistory has voted to close the congregation because of it. So we're asking for more time to come up with a solution, and yeah, for the community board's partnership in that.
Thank you. Our next speakers are Golden Thomas and Saidin. They are speaking about the co-street naming, which is associated with Resolution B tonight for those members who are voting.
Good afternoon, or good evening, sorry. Just want to make a statement in regards to William Billy Bank Thomas. My name is Saidin, I'm his brother. On behalf of my parents, grandparents, and siblings who have transitioned and are no longer here on earth physically, we would like to thank Community Board 12, and especially the Washington Heights community for embracing, supporting my brother William Thomas, whose mission was to impact youth in his Washington Heights community. Our family is forever grateful for this prestigious honor, and we are humbled by William, who we call Billy, to be even considered for a lifetime recognition. My brother's legacy will continue on through his co-naming of the street, yet more importantly, it will be magnified from the lives of all of those young men who, from his coaching and mentorship, became college graduates and productive members of our society. Thank you once again. And just know we as a family will continue the commitment William Billy Bank Thomas made to the Washington Heights community and New York City at large. Blessings to everyone. Good night.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Golden Thomas. William Billy Bank Thomas is my father. and we're thankful to be here to have street cornering presented, or to have that even be an idea based off his over 30 years of living in Washington Heights, helping the community, impacting children's lives. From the position that he was in, being paralyzed from the waist down. When he moved to Washington Heights in 1998, he decided to give his life 100% to helping out the youth. Being a former All-City basketball player himself, he knew the game, and as well as the game of basketball, the game of life, and that's what he gave to the kids of the community, letting them see what the neighborhood had to offer as far as basketball, but also taking them outside the neighborhood to see different tournaments, different communities, different states. And just overall, his mentorship and leadership towards the youth has been monumental in the Washington Heights community. Many of his former players have gone on to become, as my uncle said, productive citizens, and have started their own training organizations and coaching, and have become teachers and so many other productive occupations. And they all are thankful to him for his leadership in their lives, and the guidance that he gave as a mentor and a father figure for those that didn't have fathers. I know he's proud that we're moving forward, trying to get this done so his name can live on forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Daryl Cochran, speaking on behalf or about New York City Human Rights. And then the last in-person speaker, followed by Daryl, is Noemi Diaz, speaking for GWCC regarding Minecraft and Resource Day. Daryl, take it away.
Thank you. Do I get to time myself? Okay. No, please don't. Good evening, everyone. If you don't know, my name is Daryl Cochran. I'm here with my hat as a city employee. I'm with the New York City Commission on Human Rights. We're the city government agency that protects against discrimination. I'm going to all the community boards. I'm the director of the Manhattan Community Relations team. So I go to all 12 community boards throughout the year. And especially this year, I think there's a lot of apprehension out there of what's happening on the federal level. So we want to assure New Yorkers that they still have rights in this city. The city's human rights law has not changed since January 20th. But I do want to point out a couple changes recently, back on January 1st, the Fair Chance Act, which many of you know has banned the box with employment discrimination related to criminal background record. That was expanded to include housing. So criminal background in housing is now an issue that the City Council put forth and was signed last year. And you can check our website for that. And then also just a few of the new other protected classes. Height and weight was added to the law not this past fall, 2023, sorry, not 2024. And then also I know just this past weekend, as I don't see Nobles here, but our cannabis committee task force might be interested. Pre-employment marijuana testing is unlawful unless you fall under a certain category like operating heavy machinery or caregiving, et cetera. Our office is located at 22 Reed Street down near City Hall. Anyone can come in Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But we also have a community service center in the Bronx on 1932 Arthur Avenue. Might be closer for some of you. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last in-person speaker is Noemi Diaz, and then we will switch to the virtual public session. Liz, I see your hand is up. Is that a hand for Daryl?
No, that's a hand for our first speaker.
Ah, okay.
It's been up for a while. So I have two questions about Fort Washington Collegiate. May I ask them?
Yeah, we still have all those speakers in the room with us.
Okay, so one of them is, I know that the main body was down to giving $1 million per congregation. So $4 million a year, $1 million to each of the congregations. My question in that regard is, will they still be giving $4 million and each of the other congregations will now get $1.33 million? Or is the overall collegiate consistory saving some money there? It just seems a little ironic given that the church that burnt down and has now reopened, they announced that reopening like days after the consistory announced that the Uptown Collegiate Church would be closing. So that just seems a little hinky. And my second question to any of them is that online petition available online? So there's more access for people signing it.
So one of the reasons why I'm also here is that the consistory hasn't really been very transparent in terms of what exactly is the plan, or, so that's one of the reasons why I'm here, to really advocate and hope that the community board can support in terms of maybe reaching out to consistory, asking them these important questions in terms of what their plans are. I can't answer those specific questions because I'm not part of the board myself, or I attend service. I'm part of the community, and that's why I'm here. And I'm really asking for some transparency from the consistory. Thank you.
And the petition?
Change.org.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll now move on to Noemi Diaz.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Just wrote it down to make sure that we are on time. So my name is Noemi Diaz, is also Noemi Diaz Corona. I got my dual citizenship from the Dominican Republic last year, so I'm trying to use that. Thank you, thank you. I wanted to say a heart thank you to Catherine and everybody that's doing such an amazing job. I saw your name at G Dubs and on a painting, and I was like, look at her, look at her working inside of the building. So with that said, we have an event this upcoming Saturday. Mine is Minecraft Battle of the Boroughs. It's the Manhattan edition. So I think this was the right place to say that because all of you are invited. We don't want anybody else from the public coming in. We want to make sure that community members are seeing what's happening in our borough. So it's open to you all as community leaders. So just wanted to throw that out there. I'll share the flyer with our secretary. And then we also have the hybrid event that's going to be happening right after. So we're going to make sure that we're also participating with that from 1 to 4. They shared that. I'm just reiterating. And then a special shout out to Iglesia Pentecostal de Washington Heights. We just had 90 years here in our community this past Saturday. So just wanted to share another welcoming and community for us all. Thank you.
I see a hand from Tracy McNeil. Tracy, go ahead.
I have to talk quietly because the Minecraft nerd that I live with, my small child, might freak out. What exactly is Minecraft Magic McMagic you just spoke of? And for what age groups?
So it's called Minecraft Battle of the Boroughs, and this is the Manhattan edition that's happening this Saturday from 9 to 1. So if your school is not signed up to participate, it is a limited event. So only schools that have signed up and have entered the competition within the Manhattan Borough will be participating. Yes, he can definitely come and see it. So I want to extend the invitation to anybody that wants to do any type of tabling or resourcing. So if we can open up a room with people coming in, then we can say, hey, we can maybe have a game room open for the community. So the people that are not participating in the competition can then come and participate in a different way. So just wanted to also throw that out there.
All right, thank you. We are now going to move on to the virtual public session. So for each person who signed up, I will give you the ability to speak on Zoom, and then you'll have 2 minutes. So the first is Hillary Bosch from the Department of Sanitation, speaking on composting. Hillary, I don't, oh, there you are. Okay, you can go ahead and speak.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. Happy Earth Day to everyone as well. You've probably seen a couple updates about curbside composting recently. As of April 1st, composting is officially mandatory and enforced. However, last weekend, the mayor put a brief hiatus on all enforcement of curbside composting. Also, to clarify, in case this is a question, because Manhattan Community Board 12 is actually a huge composter in the borough. Curbside composting itself is not mandatory. What is mandatory is removing that material from the trash and putting it somewhere else. So either community garden or one of the many smart bins that y'all are already using, or curbside composting. But long story short, enforcement will now only be for buildings of over 30 units through the remainder of 2025, just to give folks more time to get the hang of it. Also, because it's a group project, and group projects are especially hard in buildings of 30 or more units. And then if you are in a building of less than that, of 0 to 29, you'll just be receiving warnings for the rest of 2025. So of course, keep composting. Of course, it is still mandatory as per the city council law, but buildings of less than 30 units will not be receiving any fines, only warnings. Thanks so much. That's the update that I have.
Great. Any members with questions? Yes, we have one. I'll repeat your question back so she can hear you. Unless you want to come up.
Is there a plan to provide additional composting bins for buildings so residents can compost, I should say, more material? Because one bin per building is not enough. And it's a little bit of a struggle because if buildings need to buy more containers, they don't always want to do that. So it's better to, it's more like an incentive to have those bins available, more bins available than the very one that you're giving for free. Just give them away for free so we'll get more people composting.
Good question. So prior to this rollout of the program, when we went citywide, we were able to give free bins, however many each building needed, basically unlimited. However, in order to make the program cost effective and to truly make it citywide and available to each building equally, one of the cuts we had to make was to making bins available for free on an ongoing basis. So unfortunately, we don't have any plans at this time to provide additional free bins. However, one update that I should have mentioned is that residents are not required to use the brown bins. If you have them, great, but you can also just write the word compost on any bin with a lid. Just make sure the bin is under 55 gallons, as most are. So I would encourage you to repurpose trash cans as residents switch over to composting. Something else I just want to flag briefly is if there are any folks who do gardening on the call, or there was a community garden on earlier, we're giving away free compost. So if you go to the website nyc.gov/getcompost, we're doing a free compost distribution event in every community board in Manhattan. And then we also have ongoing give back events in Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island, but those are kind of a trek. So there are ongoing events in Manhattan, Staten Island, and the Bronx throughout the spring. So if you need compost, go to nyc.gov/getcompost.
Thank you for that. I don't see any other hands. Thank you, Hillary, for your time. We are going to move on to the next speaker, who is Miranda Fedock from the Uptown Enclave, speaking about Fort Washington Collegiate Church. Miranda, you now should be able to speak. You have 2 minutes.
Great. Thank you so much. Hi, my name's Miranda. I'm an Inwood resident, and I help run Uptown Enclave. We're a community of tabletop gamers in Uptown Manhattan. We're focused on positive and healthy community building around collaborative storytelling games up here in Uptown Manhattan. Part of our project has been to create community-centered public tabletop role-playing gaming events that are open to all in the community, that are completely free, zero cost. Nothing currently exists like this in Uptown Manhattan. All existing spaces are pay-to-play game models. The hardest part of this project has been finding a physical space where we can have our games that are open to the community. We need someplace spacious, welcoming, most of all free, because our budget is $0. We're just doing this because we love it. We're passionate about it. So recently, Fort Washington Collegiate Church really came through for us. We connected through a mutual friend. They've been absolutely incredible. They offered their fellowship hall and offered to let us partner with their board game day once a month to offer an additional kind of tabletop gaming experience for their community, as well as folks who live in Washington Heights and Inwood, gamers who live all around Uptown Manhattan. And it was our first event was in March. It was a phenomenal success. Nearly 40 people came. We had a great time introducing people to each other around the shared hobby, forging friendships, having fun in a creative and collaborative way around the table, neighbors meeting neighbors for the first time in this sort of creative space. So our interest at Uptown Enclave and Fort Washington Collegiate Church's interest in building community have clearly aligned. It feels really clear to me, even though I've only been working with them for a few months, that the folks at the church really truly believe in being a warm and welcoming center for community building in Washington Heights and beyond, and truly show up in this way for the community. It was the only space in Uptown Manhattan that we contacted to try to create these free public gaming days that weren't trying to sell us stuff or weren't trying to capitalize on us monetarily, just genuinely wanted to help build connections between neighbors and friends and build positive relationships. So I was devastated to hear that the church is closing on June 30th. It's a tremendous loss to the community. It means a loss of a community center, essentially, that benefits so much more than just Christians or church members in the area. I feel that now more than ever, we really need welcoming physical spaces where people can be in fellowship with one another, meeting their neighbors, making new friends, growing their circle of trust, learning ways to show up for each other without having to pay for access to these spaces. These kinds of third spaces to build and invest in civil society on the ground, I think is crucially important, especially now under the current Trump administration. To take away one of the seemingly few spaces in Uptown Manhattan that provides this kind of space for people to connect would be beyond devastating to our community of gamers and to many, many others who live in these neighborhoods. New York City's physical spaces
Thank you
are
so much,
predominantly
Miranda.
trying to
That
sell
is
us
your
things.
time. I
Thank
really
you.
do appreciate that. Thank you. Our next speaker is Liz Ritter. Liz Ritter is speaking on behalf of Uptown Wagon and Uptown Theater. Liz, you should be able to speak already, right?
Okay, can you hear me? My computer just, all right. So 2 things for Uptown Wagon. We are having another free store. Once again, it will be at the Armory. It will be next Friday, May 2nd. We will be accepting donations. The actual free store will be from 2 to 6 on Friday. We'll be accepting donations all day Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. We accept men's and women's clothing, children's clothing, babies' clothing, all in good shape, no stains, no rips, no tears. If you wouldn't want to wear it, we don't want to offer it to our neighbors. We take toys, games, housewares, small appliances. If you want, hit me up. I can send you a flyer with the details. If you are not able to come by with your donation on Thursday, you can drop off your donations tomorrow or Friday or next Monday at the Hebrew Tabernacle on 185th and Fort Wash from 10 to 5, or Monday and Tuesday of next week at the Cabrini Shrine on Fort Washington Avenue and 100 by Margaret Corbin Circle. So shout out to the Armory and to the Borough President's Office for their co-sponsorship, and let's help our neighbors. If it's not already clear from the name, the free store, everything is free. People shop, but everything is free. My other announcement, taking off that hat and putting on my Up Theater hat, we are having our big fundraiser, Onward and Upward, on Wednesday, May 14th. It'll be at Mama Juana on Dykeman Street. I got 15 seconds left. And every year we honor somebody who is an upstanding person in the community. This year we are honoring Fort Washington Collegiate Church. So you've heard how important they are to the community. They're very important to Up Theater because we do a lot of our plays and rehearsals there. So come out on May 14th and show up for live theater, and also to tell Fort Washington Collegiate how important they are to us. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Liz. Our next speaker is Ariacella Holbrook-Smith. I saw your question. You should be able to share your screen, but as a friendly reminder, you'll have 2 minutes. I think you have that ability now as a panelist if you want to attempt. Yeah, I see you raising your hand. Are you able to share your screen? You should be able to unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. Got it. I'm not able to share my screen. Oh,
Okay, now that you're a panelist, do you have that ability?
yes, I do. Thank you.
Great, you should be able to go ahead then.
Okay.
Your 2 minutes begins now.
Great. Hi, everyone. So I am from the CUNY School of Public Health, which is the only public school of public health in New York City. And we have been collaborating with the Cannabis Task Force with a community perception survey around the knowledge, attitudes, and belief regarding cannabis and cannabis legislation in our community. So I just wanted to go through some of the project findings. We had a total of 55 respondents complete the survey between July and November last year. In terms of demographics, we had kind of a mixture of folks. In terms of age, we had almost half of folks identifying as 45 plus. And then in terms of folks actually using cannabis, it was kind of a mixture of folks as well. So when it came to knowledge, it was mixed in the sense that folks were aware of the legal limit for possession of cannabis, but not as aware of the legal limit, but were more aware about legal and licensed shops. In terms of favoring outlets, folks were in favor of licensed outlets, but not in favor of unlicensed. There were some health concerns around pregnant people and youth as well. And overall, the sentiments were that cannabis legalization and adult use legalization was overall very beneficial or somewhat beneficial for Washington Heights / Inwood. And then just main suggestions were increasing clarity around expectations for vendors and identifying those procedures, as well as continuing educational collaborations. And that is all that I have for you today. There's my contact information. I hope that was under 2 minutes.
It certainly was. And if you want to share that presentation material with us, either Nobles or Kathy, we can help distribute it for any members that are interested in taking a closer look at that data. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Awesome. Our next speaker is David Pulsdorf, speaking on or about Fort Washington Collegiate Church. You should be able to speak, and you have 2 minutes.
Hello. Yes. So, as everyone else has said, I am here to advocate for Fort Washington Collegiate Church. I am not eloquent or well versed in the issues right now, so I defer to everyone else. What they have said. I'm a combat veteran and a resident in Washington Heights. I'm here to speak about my experience of the church, which is currently in danger of closure. 3 years ago, my wife and I moved back to New York City after moving away during the COVID pandemic. We were looking for a sense of community that we lost after leaving the city behind, and the church provided that. Fort Washington is a multi-generational church that is inclusive and welcoming. In addition, they provide necessary services to the surrounding community that will be difficult to replace. I am a frequent volunteer at the Food Fridge, which provides a central location for families struggling to pay for groceries, to find good quality ingredients donated from local groceries and stores. They can do so anonymously. In the last year and a half that I've been volunteering there, I have never seen that line be empty. There are dozens of families that currently depend upon that resource. In addition, Fort Washington provides Sunday school services, after-school services, and a community garden has been mentioned. They are a host to a number of community events that allow individuals to grow their small business, connect with their local community, and get to know their neighbors. Should Fort Washington close, those people who depend and rely upon this resource for their nutrition needs or their childcare needs will have a hard time finding a replacement. Fort Washington has established trust in the community, and trust takes time. As for myself, I continue to find joy in their music, their welcoming spirit, and good heart. They live out a message of love, and their neighborhood directly benefits from it. It will be a severe loss for the community if Fort Washington would close, and I would ask the community board to do as much as they can to prevent that. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And our last public speaker of the night is Etta Feuerman, also speaking about Fort Washington Collegiate Church. You should be able to unmute yourself and speak.
Hi, I'm Ita Foreman. I'm resident of Washington Heights. I have 2 kids, ages 12 and 9. And I've been involved in so many parts of the Fort Washington Collegiate campus. Like people talked about with the fridge, I've donated and given food. And I could see how many people really need it. The garden, I've been involved in helping with that, and I have friends who are involved. Fort Trine Jewish Center has been a tenant of this campus, a synagogue that I attend, and I also attended church for a couple of services because I really enjoyed the interfaith space that we're sharing space together. Last, I think it was 2 years ago when the synagogue first moved into this campus, and we had like a welcoming ceremony with the church members and the synagogue members, and it was so beautiful to be part of that and connect to people of both faiths. And I also was able to see my friends perform in the choir recently. And I love this space. I think it's so beautiful. And it's such a central location for the neighborhood, and so many people benefit from all the different spaces, indoor and outdoor. And I would be really, really sad to see it go. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much for all those speakers regarding Fort Washington Collegiate Church. The issue does look and feel like a land use issue, so you may be able to go to the land use committee meeting. We often like to refer issues that come up at the general meeting to the most relevant committee. The next land use committee meeting is Wednesday, May 1st. And you can see that on our website with the calendar and get in contact with the office if you're interested in participating. And that concludes the public session.
Anthony, I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Liz.
Just in terms of, yes, it definitely seems like a land use question, but there seems to be like an additional issue about the fridge specifically. Would that potentially come under the aegis of the Housing and Human Services Committee?
Yeah, that part would, but I have to talk to Mario. There's just other components that I know have a land use, but you're right. So if folks are more curious about like the fridge and where the fridge goes and maybe the garden and other programming, like especially for folks who do host community programming, Housing and Human Services is the committee to attend to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz, for clarifying. All right, so folks are still with us. It's 8:10, we're almost there. We have our committee resolutions, A and B, and then our licensing. Right before I call, oh, Mariel's not here. Are you gonna present it, Tanisha, Jay? I think Jay, you gonna present the CDPAP? All right, it's all good. All right, don't worry, we got this. Anyway, but before we get there was a slide I missed in my chair report, and it's gonna be circulated for folks who are on Zoom through our newsletter in the next week, multiple times. Thank you very much. Which is that Monday, May 5th, our Health and Environment Committee and our Traffic and Transportation Committee are having a joint hearing. So you get all 8, 9, no, not even, it's like 18 of y'all together. But we're having a joint hearing on something that we hear about all the time. So grab a flyer on your way out, which is our public plazas and the use of our public plazas and sound at our public plazas and noise. And so we're inviting a lot of the different agencies that either regulate or it falls under their purview so that folks can get some clarifications and know who to reach out to when they have concerns or when they do want to host their own programming. So that's something I don't want to miss out on. And also Business Development Committee got some juicy presentations. So for folks who are curious about MWBE, trying to figure out the process to become MWBEs, there's going to be presentations on that and on a future bid or a potential bid. We know we have two in the district so far. One. And folks have been hard at work for a while to make another one possible along Broadway, from like the 160s, right, all the way 150, to about 179, 178, yeah. All right. And so if you want to learn more about that project, that is at Business Development. Yes. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we're using Columbia for the hearing instead of our smaller meeting room. So it's gonna be where we tend to meet at 168th Street, which is the Hammer Health Sciences building. So this is again, like we have flyers, board members, grab a bunch. There's gonna be a digital version. So if there are folks who love the Facebook groups and Nextdoor and all of that, please disseminate it. We hear about public plazas all year. From all different angles. And so we want to make sure that folks are aware that this is happening. So I just wanted to share that now before folks walk out. All right. So committee resolution A is from Housing and Human Services around CDPAP and the caregiver program at the state. The resolution is online. If you're on Zoom, you can pull it up on the chat and on Airtable. Are there questions about CDPAP? I don't think she's here. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she wasn't here. Indiana, if you want to chime in on it, pitch it to your people.
Sure, thank you. So this is a program that basically allows some Medicaid users to get the home health care and support that they need from somebody who may be a friend or a family member, and that friend or family member is then paid through traditionally. There have been about 600 different organizations that manage the payment for those services. And last year, during the state budget negotiations, the state legislature, state legislators and the governor decided to change the program. And the major change was that instead of having these about 600 different companies that could handle the payment, they only chose one vendor, and the transition needed to happen by April 1st. And so, whereas in other states, they gave some states did like a transition over a full year or a year and a half. In New York, the window to for applicants or for people receiving this service, they had to re-enroll. And also for those who were providing the service, they had to re-enroll, and they only gave about a 3-month period or maybe 4 months to enroll. And there were lots of problems with the website. So organizations like the New York Legal Assistance Group and others have really been advocating for the state to give them more time. And that did just happen. There was recently an extension announced, I think at the beginning of last week. And so our resolution just calls for additional support for the families that are having trouble registering, and also for the home health care aides, including language access support, because a lot of the tech questions, like people couldn't get support in their own language. And that's everything at a glance, super quick recap.
Thank you. All right.
Well, I was there. That this was important for us to do because a lot of. Well, I have a loud voice, but if you want to give me the mic, I'll take it. Yeah, so this program has been wonderful for our people who need home health attendants. and for people who are doing that anyway to be able to get a little bit of money. And the way that the state rolled this out is very messy. At the end of the resolution, you see that we put a little note that 70% of the people who switched over, the caregivers, they still did not get paid. So it's very important, and we have a large community of people, of our elders, of our disabled people that really depend on this service. And on the other side, we have healthcare providers that that depend on this little bit of money. So we're just asking for a stay until all of the infrastructure is put in for a smooth transition where people who need the healthcare providers are not missing service and people who are providing the healthcare are not missing pay. Thank you.
If Jim, do you want to pass along a question?
If you see at the bottom, we have a little note because we had to make amendments that 70% of CDPAP workers that did complete everything that they were supposed to complete, they still did not get paid. So that's another reason why we're saying this needs to be stopped until they have the infrastructure to transition and no one loses their care or no one loses getting paid.
Perfect. All right. Cool. Perfect. Next up. Oh. Thank you. All right, we're gonna pass it on to traffic for their resolution.
Thank you, Chair. And I'm gonna invite William Billy Banks Thomas family down. I think in a moment like this, we should give them their flowers because he created a great legacy. So we wanna invite them to take in this moment with us.
Leo, I'm also online, so I'm happy to jump in as well. Just wanted to share.
I'm gonna shout out to Carmen. Carmen did a lot of the legwork on this. She reviewed the application, was very extensive. As you guys may know, every year, twice a year, we take in applications for coast tree naming at our committee for consideration. Tough guidelines, but we do our best as a committee to really assess the applications. And again, William Billy Banks Thomas application was massive. It had awards in there, had newspaper articles, his poetry. So I just want to give a quick little background, and Carmen could kind of elaborate on it. So we're proposing the street co-naming of the northeast corner of West 156th Street and Amsterdam Avenue as William Billy Bang Thomas Way, honoring William Thomas's lifelong dedication to youth mentorship and community service. Despite a life-changing injury in 1996, William continued to positively influence hundreds of young people through coaching basketball, promoting discipline, education, and resilience. His impactful legacy includes founding tournaments, mentoring future collegiates and professional athletes, and being inducted into the Rucker Basketball Hall of Fame. This co-naming recognizes enduring contributions and ensures his inspirational legacy remains prominently remembered in our community. And we'll allow Carmen to give a few words.
Well, that was great, Leo. I don't know if I have much to add to that, but no, seriously, if you all read the resolution, you see that he was injured after surviving a traumatic injury that left him paralyzed, basically in the late 1990s. And even from that time, while on a wheelchair, he became a beloved figure in his community, really dedicating his life to coaching basketball, as you heard his son and his brother mention, and Leo, and really mentoring youth, not only across Washington Heights, but in Harlem and the Bronx. And he wasn't really only a coach, he was also a leader, a father figure, doing a lot of one-on-one mentorship. And many of the people that he ended up coaching went on to do really great things with their lives. So he was even featured in the TNT documentary and inducted into the Rucker Park Hall of Fame and received an award for his poetry from the National Library. So this man has done really amazing things and he really deserves to be honored. The application was massive and was very wonderful. I encourage all of you, if you're ever in the office, to take a look at it. You'll see lots of photos of his accolades and awards and all the young lives that he touched. And yeah, it was a great application. And I strongly encourage all of you to vote yes and support the resolution.
And I do again encourage you guys to full support and let's show love to the family. I think do we have any questions? No. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, next up is Isidro.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I have the pleasure to introduce 12 resolutions for you all to vote. Do note that some applications the committee objected to, and those are agenda item number 3, 5, and 10, as listed on the agenda for tonight's agenda. 3, 5, 10. Reasons why we voted against it or will not support those applications. One, either they did not submit a complete application, and or the applicants' representatives were not present. Sometimes we have questions, issues, and at least the first two, they did not submit a complete questionnaire, and no one was present for them. Also on agenda item number 10, the committee worked out some details to make sure that we came to an agreement where the applicant will close earlier. They were asking to close on a daily basis at 4 a.m. That is something that the committee didn't feel comfortable with. At the very end, they were very adamant about keeping those hours, and at which point we decided not to proceed, and we voted against this particular item, number 10. On the last agenda item, which is a restaurant outside dining application, the committee felt comfortable. It was about 4 chairs and 4 tables and 8 chairs. And we feel that this is a convenience to the community because they're closing very early, as stated on the resolutions. At this point, I'm going to open up the floor to see if there are any questions. And I see Wayne Benjamin.
Just a quick question on item number 10, 605 West 158th Street. That's between which avenues?
The corner of Broadway.
The corner of Broadway.
Correct.
Thank you.
Do I have any questions online? Committee members? Yes, please.
Yes.
Item number 10, you objected because it insisted on staying open until 4, but there are many restaurants in the area that stay open until 4. Why this particular one was objected to, I am curious about.
Correct. Great questions. We usually ask new licenses, this is a new license, for them to consider perhaps closing at 4, either on Fridays and Saturdays. The rest of the days, we can feel comfortable closing at 2. Some restaurants that you see open, they either started at 2 o'clock in the morning and they have come back to the committee requesting to change the method of operation. And if there are any issues from the PD and all residents, we tend to approve the request. We tried our best to make sure that we offer them like an option to close on weekdays at 2 a.m. and then perhaps opening on the weekends until 4 a.m. That is something that they definitely rejected. And guess what? We also reject those particular requests.
You have one from Liz online. Go ahead, Liz.
Proceed.
Thanks. Can you just clarify, when you say number 10, which one are you referring to? What is the name of the place? Because
number 10 will be Dakota Taverna Corporation.
Okay. And so, all right. So Buddha is number 9?
Correct.
And is Buddha that's number 9 the same place that kept on trying to open up on St. Nicholas Avenue and eventually opened up in, I want to say where Arca was? No, not Arca, but
this is a different location on Broadway and West 184th Street, close to the southwest corner of 184th.
right. No, I know it's a different location, but is it the same operators?
No.
I guess that's just a really popular name. Okay, and there was no community objection to that place?
There is no one objecting to this application. Again, if you check the resolution, as
I
stated,
did.
the committee didn't have any objection. It's just the corporate change. And it seems like the same method of operation is going to be in place. And since we have not heard any community residents complaints in all the 34th, which is very nearby, we felt very comfortable in approving this corporate change.
I'm sorry to have a back and forth, but I do just want to say every time I walk past there, it is exceptionally loud. And I mean, I personally am going to vote against it, but I'm shocked that there weren't people that came out to complain about it because they're just egregiously loud.
I'm surprised because I live practically half block away from this premise, and I walk like consistently nearby, and I never like heard a noise problem. But if you do have a concern, you have the right to vote as you wish.
Okay, thank you.
Wayne.
Hi, see, I just wanted to follow up on the location of 605 because the corner of Broadway and 158th Street is that existing pizza and chicken place. And then going in the block, there is the dry cleaner. And between the two, there's a blank door. So this is on the second floor of that. Okay, that's where DOT used to have their offices.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Yes, correct.
Thank you, guys.
You have Carl and Egbu, and then I see Indiana online. Carl?
Hi. So I'm curious about number 5, Mexican Chipotle. In brief, could you outline why you made an objection to this application?
As I stated earlier, no representative and/or owner came by. There were questions that we have for that particular application. It was incomplete, and as you know, Carl, anything that is incomplete that comes to the committee, it's an automatic rejection or objection.
Thanks.
Okay, and Indiana?
Thank you. I would just like to know if you could clarify. So the venue that wants to stay open until 4 and that you guys had concerns about that, they are not open right now. It's like a brand new establishment. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then but we have other restaurants in the district that are open until 4 during the week.
So
yeah, again, we have many restaurants that do close, many lounges at 4 o'clock in the morning. And that is because they have returned to the committee to change the method of operations from 2 o'clock to 4 a.m. If there are no specific complaints from residents, from PD, and from the community board, we tend to approve. But again, if you come in new, requesting 4 o'clock on a daily basis, that is something that we're going to have discussions because we usually do not approve 4 o'clock in the morning on a daily basis unless you are way outside of a residential area.
And if I could add, because I also sit on that committee as its vice chair, so typically when a new operator comes in, it has been the committee's consistent practice when an operator steps in, hasn't opened an establishment yet in the district and asks to stay open until 4 a.m., that the committee enters into some level of negotiation with the operator to reduce that time for a period, as Isidro mentioned. We've done this at least for as long as I've been on that committee, and as Isidro noted, this operator in particular refused all of the committee's suggestions and still proceeded with the application, which is why we suggest an objection.
Okay, great. Very, very helpful. I'm just trying to understand and kind of help build the pool of knowledge. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Those are all your questions, Isidro.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much, Chair.
All right, it is 8:30 and we're gonna take it to a vote. Alexis is gonna go in order. We ask again, because we're hybrids, to please only one person, when she calls your name, say your vote. and no crosstalk during roll call.
Thank you. Again, please, no talking while people are voting. This way, people's vote can be recorded clearly and appropriately. Thank you. Joel Abreu? No, okay. Jamirna Ramirez?
No to 5, yes to the rest.
Okay, Jamirna Ramirez, no to 5, yes to the rest. Marielle Ali?
Come back to me, please.
Okay. Richard Allman? Okay. Richard Allman? Mary Anderson? Mary Anderson, yes to all. Jay Baez? Jay Baez? It's conflict. You did. Okay, so that's conflict of interest for resolution A and yes to the rest. Jacob Banis? Jacob Banis, yes to all. Radia Barnes? Radia Barnes, yes to all. Wayne Benjamin? Wayne Benjamin, yes to all. James Berlin? James Berlin, yes to all. Danny Bonilla? Danny Bonilla, yes to all. I don't know why that just made me laugh. Hector Bonilla?
Yes to all.
Hector Bonilla, yes to all. James Bosley? James Bosley, abstain on 10, yes to rest. Eleazar Bueno? Eleazar Bueno? Okay. Darrell Cochran?
Yes to all.
Darrell Cochran, yes to all. Darley Corneal? Darley Corneal, yes to all. Nobles Crawford? No, he's not there either. Nobles Crawford? Okay. Robin Cruz? Robin Cruz, yes to all. Catherine Diaz?
Yes to all.
Catherine Diaz, yes to all. Noemi Diaz? Noemi Diaz, yes to all. Domingo Estevez? Yeah. Domingo Estevez? Okay. Erwin Fernandez? Yes to all. Erwin Fernandez, yes to all. Luana Ferriara? Yes to all. Luana Ferriara, yes to all. Sonia Figueroa Pagan? Sonia Figueroa Pagan? Okay. John Francis?
Yes to all.
John Francis, yes to all. Barbara Frazier? Barbara Frazier? Okay. Jonathan Prometta?
Yes to
Jonathan
all.
Prometta?
Do you hear me? I
Barely.
said yes to all.
Okay, Jonathan Prometta, yes to all. Thank
All
you.
right. No problem.
Tanisha Grant, are you here? Oh, okay. Tanisha Grant, yes to all. Jody Herson? Jody Herson, yes to all. She's not here. Mariam James? Mariam James? Okay. Leo Jimenez?
Yes to all.
Leo Jimenez, yes to all. Yosef Kalinsky? Yosef Kalinsky? Okay. O.C. Kaminer? Yes. O.C. Kaminer, yes to all. Alexis Marnell, yes to all. Tracy McNeil?
Yes to all.
Tracy McNeil, yes to all. Isidra Medina? Isidra Medina, yes to all. Carmen Polino?
Yes to all.
Carmen Polino, yes to all. Indiana Porta?
Yes to all.
Indiana Porta, yes to all. Liz Ritter?
I'm voting no on 5 and 9 and yes to the rest.
Okay, Liz Ritter, no on resolutions 5 and 9, and yes to the rest.
Correct.
Bruce Robertson?
Yes to all.
Bruce Robertson, yes to all. Steve Simon? Steve Simon, yes to all. Carl Unegbu? Carl Unegbu, yes to all. Anthony Viola? Anthony Viola, yes to all. Chris Whitaker?
Yes to all.
Chris Whitaker, yes to all. Crystal Woodley? Crystal Woodley, yes to all. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Marielle Ali?
Yes to all.
Marielle Ali, yes to all. Eleazar?
Yes to all.
Okay, Eleazar Bueno, yes to all. I'll ask again, Nobles Crawford? No? Okay, and Domingo Estevez, he's not online. Okay, and that's it. Thank you.
All right. Hector voted? Okay. Perfect. All right. So with that, we're going to go to committee announcements and report backs. I'm going to go with Zoom first, if that's okay. I know Chris has something for business development too. Or if you're not ready, I can switch it up. All right. Yeah, he can. Yeah, folks can hear us. Okay. We're gonna switch it up. We can bring a mic, Mary, or if you want to come this way, however you want.
Thank you. I just want to say we had a fabulous meeting at the Inwood Library last month, and it's a beautiful space. We were welcomed, and lots of information, especially programming at the Inwood Library. We learned a lot of things that are happening for younger people, but also older adults. So lots of things that, us older folks can go and enjoy at the library. So planning on getting up there and doing some painting and stuff, hopefully. On our next meeting on May 1st, we're hoping to have in J. Hood Wright Park, and we're going to have a speaker named Vladimir Bautista from Happy Monkey. He's going to be talking about cannabis and its many uses and benefits for older adults. And I just want to mention that in June, the Committee for Concerns of the Aging will be partnering with the DA's office, Columbia Presbyterian, Isabella, and somebody else. Anyway, to do a health fair, which will happen on June 5th from 11 to 3 p.m. in the Audubon Plaza. And we have at least 20 people signed up to do tabling at this time. And we'll be contributing also some items that are needed from the community board. So, it's a health fair geared for older adults. So we will be posting flyers and, spreading the word so that all of the older adults in the community will be coming from, the senior centers, the community, from the exercise group at the Armory, and all of the, various organizations around. Thank you.
Okay.
You have you have a
Zoom.
question from Alexis.
I can't hear her.
Yes, that's correct. It was about Happy Monkey. We'll be speaking the benefits of cannabis for older people. Great.
Hopefully, I haven't gotten that done yet, so.
Okay. All right, you got that, Alexis? All right, so I have Elias, Sid, Marielle, and Chris on Zoom. I'm gonna ask going once, twice, or three times if you have any announcements or report backs for the body.
I just have a quick announcement from Joel, if that's okay. This is for the Business Development Committee. He asked that you just refer to the April minutes if you need, but next month's meeting in May, we'll be talking to Cloth Community League of the Heights, the Dominican American Chamber of Commerce, and the New York City Women's Chamber of Commerce about the renewal of New York State Executive Law 15A, which governs the parameters for the state's minority women business MWBE process. I'm forgetting what the E stands for.
Enterprise.
Enterprise. I was thinking entrepreneur, enterprise process. So we're going to be looking at that. Come join us for the May Business Development Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Marielle.
Hi, sorry. Good evening, everyone. Just a reminder that the Rent Guidelines Board, they are they've had a series of public meetings. I believe I saw earlier that they're going to put out the preliminary or the proposed percent increase that they're putting forward on the 30th. So that's next week, Wednesday. So do kind of keep an eye on that. And once I have more information, I'll be sure to share it with everyone. So just wanted to put that on everyone's radar again. Thank you.
Carmen.
Hi, everyone. Again, on behalf of the Cannabis Task Force, just wanted to remind everyone if you can view the recording on YouTube. That was a really wonderful meeting. We did have Araceli Holbrook-Smith, who actually spoke during the public session today. She presented the results on the Cannabis Equity Survey that we partnered with in Washington Heights. So encouraging you all to actually go take a look at the video. I think there's a lot of insightful information there, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, Wayne in the room. You good? Oh. No, come on up. Oh.
This is gonna lay down the drain. First of all, I want to thank Heidi, who chaired this month's committee meeting. We're working to, build, capacity within the committee so more people can do things. So Heidi chaired, and since Heidi typically takes minutes, Chris stepped in and took the minutes. I also want to thank him for doing that. We had a presentation from FloodNet NYC, and that's a partnership between CUNY and NYU and various city agencies to install 500 sensors citywide to do real-time, flood detection. And in Washington Heights, Inwood, I think we only have about 4 to 6. So we're working on getting more locations monitored. And the whole idea is to build greater information, not only what floods the most, but in some cases, what floods first, because that's an indication of where action needs to be taken. We suggested they provide us with a flyer so that we can include it in the newsletter, Catherine, so that we can blast around, because they're open to members of the community, providing them with information on where in Washington Heights Inwood tends to flood, so they can look at those areas for installing sensors. We also had a presentation by the Hispanic Society. As you know, the Hispanic Society has been working slowly to upgrade their buildings, both in terms of the physical buildings, the building systems, but also accessibility, because 103 or so years ago, when the structure was built, nothing is accessible. You have to go up and down stairs to get anywhere. So the next phase is going to be work on their north building, which was originally built as a library, but was never used as a library. And when it is done, it'll be additional gallery space. In the interim, there'll be a temporary walkway. And for the first time in a century, you will have a wheelchair accessible path from, one side of the campus to the other to get from the main building to the north building without going downstairs and then back upstairs. And we expect that to be formally presented to us September, October, because that will have to go to landmarks for its approval. And so land use will consider a resolution at that time. And we also had a discussion of the inward rezoning points of commitment, which you will recall from 2018, when that rezoning was approved. There were, I think, 39 points of agreement cutting across various city agencies and therefore various committees of this board on what the city committed to do. There is in June supposed to be a multi-agency update, but before we do that, we wanted to focus on what our questions are for them. And while land use has spent some time looking at this, we need, and I think Catherine shared with the other committee chairs, we need the other committees to look at it because there are tons of commitments pertaining to housing, open space, transportation, and it shouldn't be land use looking at all of these, saying what our questions are, because we don't really know what's being discussed in your committees. So it's important that you get us any questions or areas where you want the agencies to focus on in June so we can get them to them in advance so we can have a productive update in June. And with that, any questions? If not, next.
Steve, I announced your thing. You're hearing. Steve's looking at me like I'm crazy. Do you have an announcement? Because we have about 5 minutes. Okay, you run down. But the hearing was spoken about. What else? As far as health goes, I think that's the main thing.
Well, our big news, I believe, is that the New York Presbyterian has reported to us that 24 of the 30 psych beds that were previously shut down at the Allen Hospital should be back online in early May. And I think it's fair to say that this community board has led the effort to insist that the site beds be restored at the Allen. Now, we are getting 24. It's a net loss at this point of 6. There are supposed to be 3 more added at the Milstein building. The existing site bed unit at the Milstein is going to undergo renovation to bring those beds up to code. And at that point, we're supposed to get 3 more. And we're still trying to press to see if we can possibly regain all 30. So we haven't given up on that point. Wayne, I want to talk to you because DEP has also approached my committee about giving us a presentation about flooding issues. Want to see how that meshes with what you're doing. And we probably will have a bunch of comments for you about the inward points of agreement. I don't know. Let me, did we announce the memorial service for Peter Walsh? Oh, okay, so we know it's Saturday, May 3rd, 2:00 at the Armory. Yes. All right, very good.
I'm sorry, we stole your thunder.
Oh, you can steal that fun.
All right, is there a motion? And
Liz
come on up.
motion to adjourn.
Okay, you may recall that just a few months ago, we passed a resolution as a board that requesting for spay neuter services for low-income pet owner. And we got 4 dates in March. Guess what? Wait a minute. We got 4 more in April.
Next week.
Okay, now, the last date is April 30th. At 6 a.m. This is when you have to go on the website, find out there is a place you need to sign up at 6 a.m. on the dot. And if you get accepted, they'll call you in the same day. I want to keep the pressure going. Remember what the goal is. Getting an appointment here and there is not good enough. We need a clinic. To get a clinic, we need the pressure.
I can't be the only one posting it on social media, and I'm asking the office and Catherine to please post as a standalone emails, okay? And also maybe at the top of the newsletter, I'm sorry. We need to keep the pressure on. I am not giving up, and none of you should. There you go. Thank you.
All right. We got one more. Indiana. Close us out, Indiana.
Thank you. I just wanted to really put on our radar that immigration enforcement is happening here in our district. And I'm speaking in my personal capacity. If there is anybody who's interested in chatting about ways that we can support our community, please reach out to me. We have had just in the last week, two families that I know that live a block away from me had ICE show up at their door. So it's very real. It's not just folks who have who have, justice system involvement. And also the organizations that serve immigrants are facing serious threats of funding cut. So please, if there's anybody who's interested in working on that, if as a board we're interested in working on that, I would love to connect because really our community is under threat, and I think that we need to band together and support each other. And also, if you are a green card holder, please become a citizen because it's not just undocumented immigrants. People with visas, temporary status, and even green card holders are getting stopped at the border for unpaid traffic tickets and, things that you just before would not have, been concerned about. Now, think twice about traveling and let's get together and see what we can do to support our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Indiana. Another rallying call. So message Indiana and then we can connect you with some groups, I think also. Just remind me.
Motion to adjourn.
There were
Liz
3
Ritter.
4 emergent. Thank you, everyone. So first it was Isidro, second was Robin at 8:50. Not even, it was like